Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Draconic Sports. In today's video, we're going to be ranking every NFL quarterback in a tier list, starting from the best all the way down to the worst backups or, just unknown guys like rookies. And we're going to be going through, all 32 teams and all the starters and then some of the backups, because there are some teams where the backups actually do matter. And so, we're going to be going through Browns. But anyways, we're going to be going through those teams in every team, and we're going to give you guys our thoughts on the quarterback and how their season and slash career could go, like, how we think they currently are as an NFL quarterback. And this has been a long-awaited video, it seems like, because, we've been waiting since all the teams have gotten their quarterbacks now via the draft. And the only one really that's left, unknown, is Aaron Rodgers, but that's his problem. Anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below what your favorite quarterback is, or if you disagree with any of our takes, make sure to comment down below your disagreements. And also make sure to join our Discord, as it's a sports Discord with a lot of different sports fans and sports takes in there, and it's a lot of fun to discuss sports with you guys. So make sure to join that, and without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Alright, so the first quarterback up is Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams is a very interesting case. Aqua, what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams?
I mean, I'm a certified Bears hater. Why are you asking me to start this?
All right, that's fair enough. Right now, I would say Caleb Williams. I mean, by definition, he's a below average quarterback, but I mean, you could also say he is a solid starter. He could be either.
Is this just more how we think they're gonna finish by the end of the season, or is this just more based on where we feel like they're at now?
Where they're at now.
And below average QB, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
Based on right now, I mean, what I've seen from last year, Caleb came third overall for most sacks taken. Period. That's you can't rank that highly.
Yeah, no.
Like,
and he had some really, really bad games as a rookie. But he also had some really solid games. So he swung very, very hard both ways.
I mean, theoretically, based on people were saying, like, going into the draft. I mean, he could be that franchise QB slash like elite QB that everyone's saying he was going to be in the NFL. But like, as things currently stand, you can say it's more he's a victim of circumstance, or you can say what you want. But like I said, I just feel like taking that many sacks, only your line can only do so much to cause that. I feel like it can't be that high. I feel like we've seen worse O lines before. With rookie QBs and didn't take that many. So that's just my thought.
Yeah, that's fair. Next up, we have Tua Tagovailoa. I feel like he's the definition of solid starter at this point in his career.
Higher end solid starter, maybe at and I do mean the tail end of franchise QB. Finish this.
I mean, it's really just the injuries at this point that are keeping him from
fair. Injuries,
being franchise.
Solid, yeah, that's fair, actually.
Next up, we have Dak Prescott.
Franchise QB, but not really on the higher end, I'd say.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move. He's gonna be like all the way at the end of
I at least have him above Tua. I feel like he's done more than Tua. So.
I mean, he's been there since 2016 at this point. That's like almost a decade. So I mean, pretty impressive, but also at the same time not impressive because the Cowboys still suck in the playoffs. So what can you say? Yeah. All right, next up we have Patrick Mahomes, who obviously
you see last season. I mean, clearly needs to be a backup. The joke had to be made at least once. Let's just be honest. He's definitely nowhere near the top of elite based on the past 2 seasons, if we're just being honest. But like, he can still win games. He's still clutch on third down, and based on past success, I think it's still fair to keep him in elite. But like, I will say these last 2 seasons doesn't really necessarily justify elite.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, he is still getting it done in the playoffs. So
like I said, that's what I said. He still has like. That he's still done a lot, and he's still clutch. That's why I said he's still elite. I just don't think he's the number one undisputed QB as he felt like he was in 2022. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Next up, we have Zach Wilson, the first backup of the list.
Look at playing time,
yeah,
based on Tua's record, but yet firmly a backup. I mean, there might be some potential that just hasn't been realized because that's how Jets QBs apparently work out. Apparently,
hey. Zach Wilson, though, he had the same record as Aaron Rodgers, didn't he? When they were both Jets. The year before the year Aaron Rodgers got injured,
he ended up leading the stats were like hilariously similar for like the first 5 games or whatever.
Yeah, that was really weird. Anyways, next up we have Jaden Daniels. Um, should we go
So,
franchise QB already?
I mean, it definitely has to be in franchise based on what we've seen last season. I don't think we can really definitely above a Dak. I mean, he made it to an NFC Championship game. Dak hasn't done that.
Yeah, he's not
People are gonna,
anywhere.
no, people are gonna say elite. So many people are gonna say elite, but like
No,
we've seen one season of Jay Daniels. He
I
definitely could reach that tier. That's not even a question if he can reach it. But like to put him in elite already off of just one season. I mean, if we're just judging people off of one season, Mac Jones is a solid QB.
Anyways, next up we have Josh Allen, who obviously goes in elite, and this is where the debate starts, I guess. Is he better? Is he better than
Yeah.
Mahomes?
I mean, based on recent like years, I would say quarterback wise play, I would say yes.
But also never won against him when it counts. So
I mean, nobody really has other than Burrow and Brady, and Brady's not on this list because he's not an active QB.
yeah, I don't know. I'd still have Mahomes one just because he gets it done at the end of the day. This upcoming season, I guess you could say, is going to be the real,
Quarterback for a quarterback tier list. This is not team tier list. This isn't like anything else. It's just like quarterback play, right?
yeah, I guess.
But I mean, I'm not gonna like get caught up on this. I mean,
I don't know. I've just always had Mahomes one, but I guess we can
like
put
I said,
Allen
I
one.
every
and
other
stuff.
year I've had Mahomes one. I just like I said, I just feel like it was 2 years in a row. I can't keep ignoring it because if because it feels like favoritism at that point if you're just ignoring the last 2 years when that's like the most important thing for a ranking is the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next up we have Mason Rudolph, the current starting quarterback of the
Yep,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
that's right.
Um,
Current starting.
I mean, just for that, we got to put him in solid starter, right?
I
No,
mean, he did actually get them to the playoffs in 2023.
bro, Mason
So,
Rudolph has had some decent
so you know
games.
what? For that reason, I feel like we have to at least put him in below average QB.
I mean,
Like he
what?
proved that he can be more than a backup, not by much.
Yeah, he's really like thankful that the Steelers signed him again because if he went to on any
Yeah,
other team, he'd be just trash. But for some reason, he's decent on the Steelers.
I'd like the Titans to like a single win, I think last season, if I remember correctly, or whatever.
Yeah. I remember when he first came into the league, like what was it, 2019 or 2020? One of those years,
Yeah,
he was solid as a backup behind Big Ben. Like he started a game or two, and he was, okay. Everybody thought he was gonna be kind of mid. I mean, but he's still in the league. So the fact that he's still in the league shows that he has some potential. But yeah, at the end of the day,
yeah,
nothing special really.
yeah. I don't hate him as a backup, and we'll see if that's what he ends up being for the Steelers this year.
Yeah. Next up, we have another possible backup and possible starter, in Jalen Milrow. Um,
Definition of unknown, I think, is limited by definition.
yeah,
Like we're talking about a QB that can't really throw the ball, but has insane athletics and scrambling abilities. That, if developed properly, looks like he could potentially even be better than Lamar Jackson. But also, he didn't develop like that much in college. So will he actually be able to do it at this level, which is even harder?
yeah.
So
I've
it's a weird
seen
one.
some. I've seen some videos though. He does have a really good arm. His accuracy might not be there, but his arm talent is there. Like
Like
he
I said,
has
any
he has the
athletic trait
ability
you
to.
want,
Yeah,
arm strength, like quickness, agility, like he has it all. It's just that putting it together in terms of like QB IQ and like accuracy and like other things is just like he
yeah.
struggles with.
He does seem like a Walmart version of a mix between Allen and Lamar Jackson. He could be either of them if he reached
I mean,
his full potential, but he's definitely far from it currently.
or he could be the next Justin Fields, which is solid maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, next up we have Aaron Rodgers, who obviously last played in a Jets uniform and is now looking to either retire or sign with the Steelers. And by definition of last season, I think we would have to put him in below average. But the question is he better, or do
I
you
mean,
do
if you're
you think
based on play, I think he'd be the low end of starter to be honest, solid starter because
do
he
you
didn't
think so?
necessarily play bad, but he didn't like do anything to help them win
Well,
either.
yeah, I feel like he didn't play bad, but he played disappointingly to the point where it's like, dude, you're either gonna throw 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, or like 2 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. So it's like
Yeah. You
it's
can go either way with that. Like, I mean, based on expectations, he definitely disappointed by a mile. But that's not even a question. But like, I don't know. Like I said, I think he did just enough to that he's not like awful, but like also not good.
Yeah,
I think
I
he definitely
could.
played better than Caleb last season. That's not even a question to me.
Yeah, I could see him being here, but I guess we can leave him in here until we finish out the solid starter tier.
Yeah.
Anyways, next up we're on to the Browns saga of quarterbacks, and the first one up out of the many to come is Dylan Gabriel, who is also the definition of unknown. Even worse than Jalen Milrow because the raw talent may not be there. Well, I mean, it is there to a degree where they would draft him, but also, like, definitely not as much as Milrow, but also has, potential as seen in the
I think
Browns, drafting process.
Gabriel is like a perfect, I think, backup basically in the aspect where he doesn't have any, and I do mean any at all elite traits. He's also kind of short, which is another problem. He doesn't have that much arm strength. He's lacking a lot of things, but he's pretty good in football IQ. He's the reason why the Oregon went undefeated into the playoffs is because he's quite good at playing quarterback. But the issue is, like I said, he just doesn't have traits to make him good, like in the next level. So he'll be a good backup in the league, in my opinion, for a while. But I just don't think he'll ever be anything more than that for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with that. Next up, we have the star of the show in the Browns QB room, Shadur Sanders, who is probably the biggest unknown. I'll put him ahead of Milrow and Gabriel just out of respect of him
Yeah.
being, considered the second best guy in his class initially. And then, I mean, could
I mean,
be,
talent wise, I feel like he could be
yeah, could be better than
potentially
Zach
in.
Wilson or could be
Yeah, I mean,
Zach Wilson-esque, you never know.
I think he has the talent to be a solid starter, but also like we'll see if he can deal with outside of football problems as well. It's
Yeah.
another thing to consider. And then also, like I said, the other question is, will he show up enough to the Browns to give him a shot this year? Is another question entirely.
Yep. Next up, we have Mr. Consistent or Mr. Inconsistent, whichever way you want to look at it. Joe Flacco. Do we go solid starter at the ripe old age of
Uh,
40? Is he 40 now?
I mean, based on the last time we seen him in 2023 in a Browns uniform, he was definitely a solid starter. Higher
Yeah,
end,
but
though when we see him in the
those,
Colts jersey, he did not play nearly
yeah,
as well. Now, I will say he didn't get exactly the easiest starts, but he's supposed to be a veteran QB. So
those
I mean,
Colts
yeah,
starts weren't. There was like 2 game out of like the 5 he played or something like that. There was 2 that were good or decent, and then the rest of them were not great.
yeah, specifically the Bills and the Vikings games did not go, they did not look good. And so yeah, I'm fine with like at the top of below average QB for right now. I feel like he will be next year a solid starter, but also like based on how he played in the Colts, I don't think it's fair to put him there.
Yeah, yeah. I do still love Joe Flacco a lot. I think he's a really, really solid quarterback. And the fact that he, out of like all of the guys that he kind of played with throughout his career, the fact that he's still standing at 40 is kind of impressive. I'm not going to lie. It's really only him and Rodgers left from that era. So
Yeah,
respect to Joe Flacco for that. Hopefully he can get a few more good games in before he retires. Anyways, next up we have the last quarterback of the Browns QB room,
at
Kenny
the very
Pickett.
end, honestly. I'll be. I know that he did like get the Steelers to a playoff, but I'm be honest, I think he deserves to be especially after seeing that Eagles clip of him like throwing himself while trying to throw the ball. I think I have to put him in backup for that alone.
Do you? Okay, that's fair. We'll put him below Wilson.
Because
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's an expiring backup even because like even when you seen that start last year for the Eagles.
I might have seen that clip. I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen a lot of people clown on Kenny Pickett when he played that. Wasn't it against the Commanders?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it was that loss the Eagles
Yeah.
to the Commanders. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I just based on what I've seen recently, I can't rank him even at below average right now. I don't know. Maybe he'll stun us all and become the Browns' #1 QB. Who knows?
I mean, anything's possible with that QB room. Anyways, next up we have the one and only Lamar Jackson, who obviously is an elite. And at the end of the day, hey, really, really good regular season QB. Might go down as one of the best regular season QBs of all time. But when it comes to postseason, he's not it. Right now, in his career, he has not been the guy to go to in the postseason. Last season, He like almost single-handedly choked away the AFC Championship game. Or I mean, he did choke away the AFC
Yeah.
Championship game to Mahomes. So that's kind of on him. And didn't even get back to it this year. Was close, to be fair. Mark Andrews, if he caught that pass, they'd probably be there. But, sad to say Lamar is not in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, still top 3 easily in the league.
I think yes, based on this, I think he just had to be next to Allen because the two of them basically been very similar in terms of like their performances as a QB. Anyways,
I mean, yeah, the fact that Lamar can throw like 40 touchdowns and still rush for almost 1,000 yards is actually insane. Like he is so good. All right,
it's definitely a conversation which of the two between Allen and Lamar is better. You know what? Debate that in the comments.
All right, next up we have Tyler Shuck of the New Orleans Saints. And yeah, not looking too great for the Saints QB room after recent news, but we'll put him like right here. We'll put him above Dylan Gabriel because he's gonna get a lot of minutes. I don't know why I'm saying minutes. He's gonna get a lot of playing time in the NFL.
Maybe he'll be able to lead the Saints to a victory next season. We will see.
Gonna be very interesting to be a Saints fan. Feel bad for them. Anyways, next up we have another pretty easy one in Joe Burrow, who I feel like is pretty, easily the 4th best QB in the league.
Injury concerns definitely makes him, I feel like, the worst of the 4, even if he probably had the best season of the 4, potentially, if you want to argue last year.
Yeah.
His defense not existing. But yeah, it's not even a question that he can be an elite QB. Granted, I will say he does have the most help of the 4 QBs in elite. But even with that stated, yeah, clearly he deserves to be there. We'll have to see if they can actually have a defense next year. Maybe they'll have Joe Burrow take snaps at linebacker.
That would be very interesting to see the Bengals defense and how it turns out. But their offense is gonna give you at least 30 in most games, so that's exciting. But anyways, next up we have Michael Penix Jr., who is...
We saw like 3 games of him is the issue with ranking him, to be honest.
I would definitely say I would put him right here. I don't know. I put him above Shedeur because I
was gonna say some of what I've seen. I'm fine with putting him at the top of unknown of what we've ranked so far. But like I said, if you were saying like he's already a franchise QB after 3 starts and he's gonna make the Falcons good, but like it's 3 starts. I don't know. That's enough for me to really rank him.
Yeah, I mean it's unknown, but it's a fun. It's not like a worrying unknown like Sanders or Milrow or even Shuck. It's more of like a fun unknown because at least you've seen him play and you think, oh yeah, he's got something, in during certain plays. At least it's not like, oh shoot, the Falcons are screwed. It's not that bad yet. Could be by the end of the season, but we'll see. Next up we have Justin Herbert, who I think he might be the definition of not elite, but definitely like a franchise QB. Like
I might have to. I mean, this might be crazy, but I honestly put Daniels ahead only because Daniels has a playoff win.
Okay, hear me out though. Like Justin Herbert, better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. Like
probably
straight up better quarterback. And I think also he's a I don't know. I think Jaden Daniels is a better franchise quarterback in the sense that Jaden Daniels is going to have more franchise success. But if we're talking about quarterbacks, no, Justin Herbert's like he's like I don't even know. He's like a mixture of like Phillip Rivers and like Drew Brees. Like he slings the ball, man. Like he can chuck that ball and he gets so many yards and so many touchdowns. Not as much as he used to in touchdowns, but he gets a lot of yards. And also his wide receivers suck, so
I feel like we're holding it against Dak a little bit. I feel like we got to hold it against Herbert a little bit.
I will admit, though, Herbert did slip. I thought Herbert was going to make the jump to top 5 this season. Herbert might have actually sent himself out of my top 10 after that playoff game. He's out
of my top 10 now, unfortunately.
He's really close. I really want Herbert to be top 5. Like I want it to go Allen, or I want it to be Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, and Herbert so bad. But like that was maybe Herbert like 2 years ago. Like you could have maybe said he was top 5, and even then it was weird. Now it's even more weird because his playoff games have been terrible, and his regular season stats, he just looks like a stat stuffer at the end of the day. So I guess fine, we can put it against him for now. But hopefully Herbert
Yep.
can make his way back into most people's top tens with an exciting postseason run this upcoming season. Next up, we have Aqua's guy, his favorite one here, Jared Goff, who
Top of franchise. This is not really a question. He's proven it time and time again. He is the definition of a franchise QB.
I don't
He's been
know.
top five, and he's been top five in passing categories literally the last 3 seasons.
I would
without
say
fail.
Jared Goff's so weird because he went from being a solid starter to a franchise QB in like 2 seasons, and the Lions went from sucking to being one of the best teams in the league in 2
You
seasons.
can't hold 2021 against Goff. That team had no talent, basically.
Yeah, but okay, but don't you think that Goff, to a degree, is getting carried by his team more than
Like,
these?
he has better talent around him than a decent amount of these quarterbacks. I don't feel like that's necessarily it's like this is gonna be the exact same conversation we're gonna have with Hurts soon. But like the team is built well around Goff. That's because the franchise knows what they're doing and doing a good job at making things good for his skill set.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like elite is a QB that can actually work in any system or almost every system would be an elite QB.
oh yeah, no,
Franchise QB.
Jared Goff could not, no offense, definitely not work in any.
Like, he can't scramble.
system.
I mean, yeah, I might not argue that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was actually able to do something with his legs this season, which was shocking. I was shocked seeing those, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not at all a scrambler. But, like I said, I think he is perfect at what you need for a franchise QB to be.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I don't know if I was gonna put him at solid starter. I might have put him at top of solid starter.
Okay, that's actually kind of hating, though. If you're gonna you're putting him below Dak.
Yeah, true. I don't know though.
Like, that's actual hating.
Because I like Jared Goff, I want to, but the Lions are
Look at
such
the stats.
yeah, but they're such a weird team in the fact
He
that
also
like
at least got he also got his team to a Super Bowl and a NFC Championship game. He's at least he's clutch for the most part in the postseason.
okay,
For a
I think
start,
those Rams
which is more than other.
okay.
teams
To
are.
be fair, he was pretty decent on that Rams run, but that team was
I mean,
also like a really good team.
He outdueled Stafford. Like,
Yeah, true. All right, fine. We can give Jared Goff franchise QB, but I still need him to prove a little bit more for me in order for
Like I
him
said,
to
they're
like
not-
solidify him as the Lions guy for the next, 5 years, which I think he can do. Like I think he can be the Lions
I
guy.
just feel like he has a hard time shaking off the narrative people have put with the whole Stafford trade. I feel like people are just being a little too mean to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely one of those people that is a little more mean to Jared Goff just because, yeah, he just doesn't seem like the type of guy that you would build a franchise around after what happened on the Rams, where he did seem like that type of guy and then fell off a lot. But now that he's back with the Lions, it's going to take a little while. But yeah, okay, we can keep Goff in top of franchise. Anyways, next up we have, I don't even, wait, what is this guy's name? I don't even know. Is it
Jake Browning?
Jake
Hilarious
Browning?
enough is also the same initials as Joe Burrow. Funnily enough, but I think just below Penix. I think this is the easiest placement because he's shown he's a great backup, and he led the Bengals to nearly a playoff berth and 8-9 record with that one season, 2 seasons ago when Burrow got hurt. So he showed the ability to competently run the offense. I think that's about all you need to do to be like a really good backup.
Yeah, I remember there being a Bengals backup. I just don't remember his name being Browning. I
Yeah,
forget.
that's it. It was him.
Okay. Next up we have JJ McCarthy. Probably
Completely unknown.
yeah. We can put him at the bottom. Just because there's really
I mean,
nothing to look at.
I'm putting ahead of like Milrow because at least he showed to be a competent QB that can do things at college. But yeah, we don't really know much more than that. So yeah, put it right above Milrow. I think is actually above Pickett. I forgot about Pickett. I'm fine putting Will Wilson because he has no experience. But like, I'll be honest, this is me hating on Pickett only a little.
Anyways, next up we have Brock Purdy, who
The guy that just got paid.
is he? I mean, based off that contract, he's a franchise QB. Is he though?
I mean, do we think he's better than Dak? I think that's the first topic of discussion.
Yeah, I think he's better than Dak.
So I feel like we just have to put him just above Dak. If we can have a discussion about if we want to move people down out of franchise QB.
I mean, I hope.
At the end.
Yeah, I hope Brock Purdy's a franchise QB. He looked a little shaky this past season. To be fair, his entire team did get injured, but hopefully he can be. Hopefully he doesn't get like in 2 years. Hopefully he doesn't get demoted to some backup somewhere. But I hope he does have a successful career. He looks like he is going to be Dak 2.0. He's just going to be an inconsistent, middle of the pack, slightly above average kind of guy most of his career and get people hyped up every now and then, but mostly just disappoint. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we have Anthony Richardson, Aqua's favorite quarterback, and the definition of below average. We can put him right here.
I mean, he has upside. That's about all I can say about Anthony Richardson. But as fantasy owners would know, he has not reached it.
Yeah. People were drafting him as their number one in some
I
leagues.
saw so many people saying that Anthony Richardson was going to win MVP last season before the season.
No,
like,
that
I think he had the fourth best betting odds too. Dude, you're just asking to get rid of your money.
Next up, we have Trevor Lawrence, who
once again, this is probably top of solid starter, and we can have the discussion, I guess, about franchise QB, but I don't know.
I mean, I think Tua's better, but I'd put Lawrence right there. Lawrence,
right, yeah.
Lawrence should have made the jump to franchise QB already. His rookie season, can't do anything about that. Urban Meyer sucks, right? That was his rookie season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rebound with Doug Peterson. Great. Upset the Chargers. That was awesome. Lost to the Chiefs, of course. Nobody expected them to do anything there. So, Jacksonville played really good that season. Trevor Lawrence played exceptionally well, even though he almost lost that playoff game against the Chargers. Then, comes in last season and doesn't do great. And now Doug Peterson is fired, and they have a new head coach. So, Trevor Lawrence, this is your time. This is your time, dude. You got to show up. Otherwise, people are severely going to be doubting you to be a starter in the NFL, period. Like, franchise QB is not even in the question if he doesn't perform this season. So,
do we just want to make a new tier that's just titled franchise QB question mark below franchise QB? Because I feel like we have a lot of, like, question marks of, like, basically from, like, to not sorry. I guess it would be really basically it's like almost like Herbert down to basically are these QBs that we don't know if they're actually a franchise guy or not. And it's just like at this point we just make it its own tier. Because like these are the QBs that like they have potential, they've shown stuff, but like they've not done it consistently enough for us to believe that they truly are franchise QBs. I feel like that's
all right,
kind of a route.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think Dak might need to go there. And I feel like every moving Dak got to move Purdy, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Purdy's contract should justify him being in franchise, but we'll see. Anyways, next up we have Sam Darnold, who is also
starter, probably top of it based on last season, but also we don't really know if that's going to translate.
Definitely not in here because at the end of the day,
one season.
Yeah, he's getting first of all 1 season. Now he's on a new team, so he can't even be a franchise guy for the Vikings.
Yep.
And probably they're gonna do mid, maybe above average like last season on the Seahawks, and then might get traded after his contract or sign with a new team after his contract. So,
maybe light it up with the Seahawks. I just can't say that I see that happening. Right now.
That's fair. Next up, we have Daniel Jones. Low-key, I did not know who this was at first when I saw the uniform, and then I realized, oh shoot, yeah, Daniel Jones is still in the league.
Nope, it's not Mac Jones.
Yeah, somehow not Mac Jones, but Daniel Jones. Love to see that. No,
honestly, just ahead of AR. I think that's the perfect spot.
Yeah, Daniel Jones has a playoff win. We have a
new tier with franchise QB's question mark. You want to move Flacco up to the bottom of solid starter, right? Because I feel like that tier's feeling a little empty.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least for now. Anyways, that's good.
Yeah, but Daniel Jones has a playoff win. AR doesn't, so he might even go above Caleb Williams for that. No, I'm kidding. We won't do that to Caleb Williams. That's a little disrespectful. But anyways, we'll move on. Next up, we have C.J. Stroud.
I mean, I feel like franchise isn't really a question. Like it's a he's shown enough to be a franchise QB with 2 seasons ending in the divisional round. The question is where now do we want to put him? I mean, he has the head-to-head against Herbert.
Yeah, he did beat Herbert. But also, I like Herbert better as a quarterback. Again, like I like Herbert better than, no offense, better than Jared Goff, better than Jalen Daniels, better than Stroud as a quarterback. But what he's done with what he has, like in the sense of his talent,
I'm not
you
gonna
know,
fight
not
you on
better
this.
than them.
I feel like I'd probably put Stroud above Herbert just because Herbert's had so much time in the league at this point, and just not having a playoff win really hurts his case. I feel
Yeah.
like.
CJ Stroud also, he has a chance to solidify himself in like that top 10, top 8, borderline top 5 like company this upcoming season. So hopefully he does do that. That'd be cool to see after he had, you know, the sophomore slump as most people like to call it. So
Yeah.
excited to see what CJ can do. But yeah, definitely the franchise guy. I mean, the Texans hit a home run with drafting him, you know,
Yep.
and you know, missing out on Bryce Young. Whew, that was a close one. But also, you know, Panthers, that's your guys' fault. Anyways,
We'll get to there when we get there.
next up we have Cam Ward, the one and only. Get it? Because
I
his
guess just
number is
top
number
of
1.
unknown. I feel like that's
Yeah.
literally the only good
I
place to
mean,
put him for right now.
probably gonna be franchise guy question mark in 2
I
years,
mean, he
as
could.
long as
I
he's
mean,
not
he,
into the
I was
next
gonna say,
Will
yeah.
Levis, you know.
I mean, he could even be a franchise QB if he like really lights it up in the Titans, but also the Titans have no talent. So
Yeah, they have Tyler Lockett, who's gonna be in like the cemetery in like 2 years.
I
So
mean, that's where receivers go to retire, as we all know.
yeah. Next up, we have Will Levis, other Titans legend.
Uh, Bottom.
Yeah. No
I joked
offense.
about making a Will Levis tier, but
I
gotta prove that, I
genuinely think
guess.
Dylan Gabriel could be better than Will Levis, and
Yeah, I'd rather have Gabriel as my backup.
I'm being dead serious when I say that.
All right, since we're getting told I'm an Eagles hater every end the freaking head coach video, Hurts is going in below average QB.
Now, next up we have Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is he's a very
I
interesting one. I don't
I'm fine
think
with top of franchise.
I mean, I've been saying this recently, but now that he has the
I
Super Bowl win, Jalen Hurts is not better than Joe Burrow. Like at the end of the day, I'd rather have Joe Burrow, but Jalen Hurts, he's really close. He's definitely the 5th best quarterback in the
I
league
don't
right
know. I
now.
just feel like he couldn't work in every system, which I feel like an elite QB would.
Yeah, it's
That
close. I mean, he would work in
so
most,
for that reason, I would
but
say he's only like he's obviously a good franchise QB. He got it done. I'm not here to question that. I am just saying I wouldn't put him in elite just because he. Like I said, his system's tailor made for him, and it's for a good reason. He's not he's not going to be that guy that's going to be able to throw it to his third read, but also he can scramble insanely, and he can also throw it deep insanely. And I think his systems work perfectly for him.
yeah, that's a fair
Also, if we're talking about
assessment.
help, I feel like he has the most help in the league. If you want to put that against golf,
Yeah, true. He does have. I mean, his wide receivers are. It's close between him and Burrow, but his wide receivers are probably better. And then also he has borderline
the O-line.
MVP. Yeah, borderline MVP in Saquon, and O line is legendary as always. Anyways, that's Jalen Hurts. Controversial one. So make sure to comment down below your guys' thoughts on Jalen Hurts, and does that Super Bowl move you very far with him in your rankings? We'll be interested to see your guys' thoughts down below. Next up, we have Geno Smith, the newest Raiders quarterback, now with Tom Brady and Pete
I feel like
Carroll
he has
running
to
the
go in
show.
question mark franchise or top of starters.
Dude, okay,
Starters.
I feel like low-key that's also disrespectful, though, to all these guys to put Geno in
Yeah, I
franchise
guess
question
top of
mark.
starters. I guess he wasn't even like, he was kind of a franchise QB for the Seahawks, but the fact that they're willing to trade him, I guess
Nah,
proves that he isn't. So I guess that's kind of the
I
big
feel
argument
like
against him.
if you think Geno's a franchise guy or even like considering,
Well, I'm saying they treated him like a franchise guy.
yeah, they treat him like one, but also I would say they treat him more like a no. I would say Pete Carroll treated him like a franchise guy for that 1 year. The new Seahawks head
McDonald.
coach, yeah, he did not treat Geno like a franchise guy. He treated him like a bridge quarterback, and that's probably what he should have been. No, like seen as. I feel like most people saw him as a bridge quarterback. When he played for the Seahawks after Russ, dipped, and so. Yeah, solid starter makes the most sense. Franchise guy, no, just because you can't be a franchise guy if you've been on that many teams, even though only now he's good. And so
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
The only
kind of did
question
what
is,
Darnold did
yeah,
to in a way, but I feel like Darnold had a more impressive season, but it was only one season. Geno's had at least a few decent seasons.
yeah.
I feel like
The
Geno
only
gets a little
question
above.
though is who's better, Darnold or Geno? It's really close.
Like I said, just because there's only one season of Darnold, I mean, the one season of Darnold was better than any of Geno's seasons, but Geno has had multiple seasons of being a really good, like solid QB. So I feel like that should supersede the one season, at least for now.
Yeah.
Unless Darnold lights it up in Seattle. And actually, if Darnold plays better than Geno in Seattle, then I mean we have an obvious answer.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how good Geno is with this Raiders team. This Raiders team is just really a bunch of misfits and Ashton Genty, it feels like. A very, very weird team. But I guess also exciting to a little degree. Next up, we have also a pretty controversial one. This one is very, very weird. I don't like this one at all. But Kyler Murray, dude, Kyler Murray plays like a solid starter, but Kyler Murray should be up here by now. Like he was drafted in what 2019 or
Yeah,
2018.
it was the 2019 draft.
20 bro
First
was
overall.
first overall in 2019. That's almost 7. No, almost it's 6 years now. Almost 7 years. Gonna be 7 next season. And the fact that he's not a franchise guy by now is kind of crazy. It does not seem like he's gonna be the Cardinals' answer moving forward. And also their team, when it was built around him with DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, whoever they had it as running back those years. I don't think it was James Conner yet. But now it just feels even more weird. And so I think he has to go either bottom of franchise guy. I think he's worse than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean he's been in the league longer and also hasn't managed to really do much.
I
And Trevor also does have that playoff win, which is something.
I think this is a little disrespectful, but at the end of the day, he does play very similarly to Darnold and Smith in the sense of like stats wise. But realistically, he should be, in the second tier, but he's probably at the bottom of the third tier. All right, so next up we have Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers, our favorite quarterback to talk about.
We have half of season him looking solid, but also we also have the season before that where he was easily the worst QB in the league, or pretty dang close.
Yeah. So, okay, so really good one year, really bad the other year, evens out. Franchise
I mean, it's
guy,
not even like 1 year. It was half a season.
Yeah, like 5 games, not even. Yeah, we can go franchise guy question mark.
Or yeah, we'll need to see more from him this season. If he keeps it up, obviously, then he could actually potentially. I think it'd be a lower end franchise QB if he reaches his ceiling, just because he does lack a few things. I feel like that might make it a little hard for him to be a truly amazing QB.
Yeah, he lacks like all the physical attributes, but it's fine.
But if based on that QB showed at the end of the last year, yeah, I think he definitely could reach it. Like I said, it is just a question mark. It's half a season.
Yeah. Next up, we have Russell Wilson, newly added quarterback to the New York Giants.
In his current state, probably solid starter in his current state.
Yeah, I would say he goes right here. He's definitely better than Rodgers. At this point, from what we've seen of Rodgers on the Jets and him on the Steelers, definitely Russ. I really feel bad for us, the fact that we might not even be able to put him above Geno and Darnold.
I mean, he was in the elite category a while, like a long ago, but unfortunately, when you're a scrambling QB and you get older and you can't quite be as good of a scrambler as you used to be, it does make it harder for you to be an elite QB. Just how it goes.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have Russell Wilson's partner in crime now on the Jets.
Jameis Winston. Just kidding. He's not on this tier list.
Yeah, the fact that Jameis Winston's not here is kind of funny. But Jackson Dart, where do we put him on the unknown list? We could probably put him right. I would say worse than Milrow right here. I would say that's fair.
I mean, yeah, he probably needs development as well. We'll see what he is.
Hey, people have been hyping him up, though. People have been saying he might get the job over Russ, which, I mean, halfway through the season, there could be a chance.
Okay, so my concerns is that he was part of the Old Miss offense, which is a full-on college offense where they just make the job easier for a QB to do. He has measurables, he has traits, but like I said, running an NFL offense is going to be completely different from what he ran in college, so we'll have to wait and see how he managed to reach that adjustment.
Yeah. All right, so next up we have Justin Fields.
I mean,
probably the definition
bottom end of solid starter based on last season alone, maybe?
Nah, I would say he has to be below average. At this point, I don't even think he's going to hit 20 touchdowns next season.
We'll see. He basically has the Jets hostage next season, where they're basically the two of them don't have other options. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he just needs Garrett Wilson, his old college wide receiver, to be elite. Probably not, but we'll see.
Next up, we have another, I would say slightly controversial one, but I would also say not that bad in Jordan Love. I would say he is a franchise QB at this point.
Reluctantly, I would have to say for right now, though I think he tends to get overrated a bit.
I do think obviously right now he's the worst one out of him, Favre, and Rodgers, but he does have the big shoes to fill, but he clearly is going to be their guy for the next like probably 2 years at least, and
I know
probably
I'm a
close to like a
Lions fan, but they
decade.
made it really hard not to hate on him based on the people how much people were hyping him up after that half a season and a playoff win in 2024. Like it was just like, are you kidding me? You're just gonna say that he's like top five QB after that? Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
He's a little inconsistent, but if he can nail down consistency and not throw a decent amount of interceptions like he likes to do, it seems like, he can definitely be, in that top 8, maybe borderline top 5 conversation in like 3 years. I could definitely see him up there. He definitely has the talent, and yeah, I guess it does make sense to sit a quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers for like 3 years. Guess it did pay off. Anyways, next up we have Kirk Cousins.
Uh,
Kind
so
of,
this one's a hard one to rank once
yeah,
again.
holding the Falcons hostage, but I guess that doesn't really matter right now.
I mean, based
Um,
on last season, I mean the first part of last season was like good, and then it was like awful.
yeah, he was
So
he
I
was
don't know.
cooking early, and it was
Yeah,
after that
he
like
took the
Bucks
Buccaneers
game. Yeah,
specifically.
those Bucks games were like Super Bowl.
Allegedly, he had an injury in his shoulder, and he played through it because he didn't want to lose the starting job. That's alleged. We'll see if that's true. I feel like the Falcons got to trade or cut him at some point because they can't seriously want to have to pay him like 40 mil. Like, are you kidding me? Just sit on the bench. That's
I would say end of solid start is fine. Otherwise, if you want to like kind of just
I
say
don't
that his
know.
career's
I feel
over.
like I've seen. I think I like Flacco more when I've seen the last two seasons specifically because he didn't really do much in 2024 either because he got that Achilles tear really early on.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
he was really good in 2024 for that Achilles tear, but ever
Yeah,
since
I don't
then,
know.
not
It's really
good.
hard to say. I mean, like I said, the Flacco injuries led the Browns to the playoffs at that year, so I feel like why not give him the edge? But yeah, either way, it's like a topic of discussion. I don't know. We'll see how Kirk Cousins does in the next season. They'll probably
Hmm.
be on someone's team.
All right, next up we have Bo Nix. Very interesting, fun young quarterback, and yeah, we'll put him in franchise guy question mark. We'll put him above Bryce Young because it does seem
I don't
like
know. I feel like based on what we've seen so far, that I'd put him even above Tua, just based on what I've seen from one season, which is kind of hard to rank one season
oh
of
yeah, no, I forgot about
Bo
Murray.
Nix.
Probably better. Yeah, definitely better than Murray, I would say.
Honestly, like I said, he managed to get his team to the playoffs in his first year. So I guess I think I'm respectable enough to put him just above or just around Tua. I think that's fair for what we've seen so far.
I would say Tua is better. I would say Tua is a better off like just I don't know what Tua does seem like a better overall quarterback right now. I would say, but
I guess,
I
yeah.
get I think Knicks has a chance to definitely be one of the better young franchise guys alongside McDaniels, or sorry Daniels. But we'll see. I like Knicks. I think his coaching is like perfect. I think him and Sean Payton are like a really really good
Yep.
duo and could definitely be a duo for a long time to come, kind of like him and Drew Brees in the past. Um, so yeah, I like Knicks. We'll see. But yeah, definitely is a very hyped up young guy that can show what he's made of next season.
And if we see like at least two more seasons of like what he's done this year, I think he can probably easily get to the franchise tier, especially if he gets a playoff win in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. Next up we have Drake May.
Similar situation to Bo Nix, to be honest, other than the fact that his team was not very good. But then again, the 2024 Patriots talent, it was non-existent.
Yeah, I'm willing to put him
I feel like
I'm
Knicks
willing
did
to put
more,
him
but I
right.
feel like he has to be below Knicks just because of
Yeah,
Knicks
I
did
I would put
do
him
more.
below Lawrence too, just by a little bit. We still haven't
for now.
seen. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think May definitely not this year. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll solidify himself as a franchise guy this year, but definitely by next year, like going into or by halfway through like next season or the season after that, he should, basically confirm like him and Vrabel are gonna be there and be a duo for the next like at least 5 years together. So that's exciting. And yeah, can't wait to see May ball out this upcoming season with that new Patriots roster. Looking very, very exciting. But anyways, we have our last three, who it's really only
Yep.
two because can't really count this last guy. But next up, we have Baker Mayfield.
Franchise
Um,
QB with some what we've seen, I feel like kind of has to be because
yeah, he's
he
he's
managed to
really
he literally
close.
he kind of made himself into a franchise QB, and frankly, I think I'd rather have him on my team over Love, to be honest. I know I'm a Lions fans, but like
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't think I will. I don't know. I really like Baker, but I think Baker is a. I think Baker's a better. How do I
I
put
mean,
this?
they do very similar things in terms of being kind of like a gunslinger, but I feel like Baker's done it better, in my opinion.
Well, I think
They
Baker's.
both have like the same credit, like in terms of like starting from 2024, right? They both done the exact same amount of things, making the playoffs and getting first rounded in the second year after winning a playoff game in their first year of the team.
Yeah, I also just I don't know if we can throw around the term franchise QB though, because at the end of the day, is Baker gonna be there for the next like 3 or 4 years? I
I
don't
think
know.
so, actually, or at least the next three.
I don't really know. I think Baker has definitely played himself into being the Bucks starter for the next like 2 years. But franchise QB, that's at least like that's at least like
I
probably
mean, he's still
four
relatively
years with
young,
the
all
team.
things considered.
Yeah, he is. So I guess
So
we'll have
like,
to see next season or this upcoming season if he does perform. I would say franchise QB is probably his future. Right now, I would say his future can't. It obviously can be franchise QB, but right now, like currently, I would say he's a. I would say he's right. I would say he's above Purdy.
no, I think he has to at least be in franchise QB for now, just because he also managed to do so much without his top two wide receivers. I feel like that's got to be worth something.
All right, I guess yeah. This is the only one that I don't want to be right about, but I also like I'd rather be wrong about. But I'm just trying to be a little realistic, you know.
I just feel like his resume is close enough to, like I said, a Love and also Stroud based on their careers at this point.
Yeah.
At least in like the last 2 seasons. Well, I think more recent stuff matters more. And I feel like I said could he fall off? Maybe, but like I just feel like Baker's gonna play well for the next 2 seasons at least. So
I mean, yeah, that's what you gotta hope at the end of the day. Um, so hopefully Baker does ball out and prove himself as the Bucks guy for the foreseeable future. Anyways, last but certainly not least, we have Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams, who is a very interesting one as well because Stafford is 37, I think, turning 37
yeah,
this year. So he's not a franchise guy because Stafford's not necessarily a franchise guy because he can't really be there for that long.
I don't know. We're ranking him based on now, not future. You remember we agreed on that. So I feel like he has to be near the
Oh
top of
yeah, I
franchise QB
guess.
based on what he's played. Honestly, I think he's played better than Hurts. All things considered, if I'm being honest. They both have that Super Bowl attached to them, right?
Yeah.
That they played for. I think Stafford could work in more systems than Hurts could work in. To be honest, like I said, I think from a sheer QB play, Stafford has to be above Hurts. But like I said, we can have this discussion though.
You probably know this by now, but I'm a big Stafford guy. I like Stafford a lot. I would say the Rams are my second favorite team besides the Patriots because of Stafford. I also do enjoy the Lions a lot because of Stafford and what he did for them. Um, but at this point, I think the recent Super Bowl, and the fact that Jalen Hurts beat Stafford on the way to that Super Bowl, I think I would have to put Hurts slightly above Stafford. But I do think Stafford's still the sixth best
I feel
QB in
like
the
at some
league.
point, obviously Stafford will have to fall off eventually just because of age, but he hasn't done it yet, even still with all his injuries. I feel like
Yeah, no, I mean he's
at least for
definitely.
now, I feel like I said, as of today, if you ask me who the fifth US QB is, I'd probably say it's Stafford
Yeah, no, I okay,
today.
fine, fine. I can let my bias, go a little
Like I
crazy
said,
here. and put him above Hurts.
Hurts is like I said. Hurts is obviously a great QB. That's not even a question, right? Obviously, right? Like he's lacking a few things you'd want to make him like, for him to be elite, like truly elite. But like obviously, he's a really good QB.
Yeah, and I would say out of these older guys that are kind of getting to the point where they're gonna retire soon, like
Yeah.
Derek Carr, who's now of course retired, but like Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and who's the other guy that I'm?
Aaron Rodgers, Joe
Uh, no,
Flacco,
no, it was Russ.
Wilson,
Yeah, Russell Wilson. That's who it is.
Russell
Because
Wilson.
I consider Rodgers. Rodgers is so old at this point that he's in that era of Brady, Breeze, and Rivers and Manning and all that. I would
Yeah, it's
consider
crazy.
that the second era. I think is Wilson, Cousins, and Stafford right now. Maybe Flacco. I think Flacco though goes in the older guys era. And then Carr would be that fourth guy alongside Wilson, Cousins, and Stafford. So he's the first one out of those four that retired. But out of those guys, Stafford is definitely the best and is considered, top 10. And we'll put Carr now that he's retired in
Yeah.
unknown because, I don't know it's unknown what he's gonna do in retirement. But yeah. Anyways, that is it for our quarterback tier list, everyone. I don't think we have any disagreements on the rankings right now.
Yeah, I guess let's do a quick look at it one more time. I guess quickly. Also, make sure that make sure to comment your own list. Talk about what you disagree with. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be disagreements. Also, I think we were just if we're gonna put Carr anywhere, I guess I think solid starter is really where I would have ranked him. But obviously, retired. It
Yeah,
is what
no,
it is.
that he would probably be like right above Wilson, right below Wilson, and solid starter. Yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure we like and subscribe. Join our Discord down below, and subscribe to our personal channels, also linked in the description down below. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Bye bye.